New video. What's good, YouTube? This is the thing though. Last video was kind of crazy, and I ended it off really crazy too. I ended my whole stream last video. You know, you're watching this on YouTube, so you wouldn't really know. But if you want to check out the streams in real time, you know what I'm saying? Twitch.com/ChillinINParis. Thank you very much. See you there. But last video, we was talking about, murking Mr. H as a baby and stuff like that. Now we're moving on to 5 permanently banned children's cartoons. I wonder what got them banned. Because we still have shows like South Park, you know what I'm saying? Still airing perfectly fine. They've been airing for like the past how many years? We've had shows like Boondocks come on. We have shows like Rick and Morty. So I'm just surprised what got this shit banned. You know what I'm saying? Like, banned in America or banned in certain countries? Because I wouldn't understand if they're banned in another country, but not over here. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, we way more lenient when it comes to shit that you put in cartoons and on TV compared to other countries. So it's like, I don't know. Get into it, though.
Sometimes, while riding high on the success of their show, or more commonly cocaine, cartoon writers get a bit cocky and end up with an episode of TV that censors yeet straight into the trash can before filling the trash can with concrete and sinking it to the bottom of the ocean. Or they just decide to never broadcast it again, whichever is easier. It doesn't really matter because all banned episodes eventually land on the internet anyway. In fact, that's all I've been watching this weekend, which is why it looks like I've been crying. And because I refuse to suffer alone, in this episode, we're taking a look at the bonkers, the embarrassing, the unbelievably weird-ass banned cartoons you won't believe ever made it to air. We're talking
about,
what
was it? Like what? Like what? Too much cleavage? Was it racial stuff? You know what I'm saying? Were they talking about government conspiracies? You know, Inside Out. I mean, Inside Out. Inside Job, and I feel like one of the main reasons why Inside Job got canceled was because, majority of the stuff that they were talking about in their cartoon was actually facts, but, Like, they were like, their shits were too true. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were telling them as jokes, but they were too on the nose. I'm just saying, in GTA. But yeah, what got these shits banned? And what were they banned? Like, banned in a country, in that state? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure this video is going to fill me in, but I'm just talking to, like, conversate. You know what I'm saying? I'm reacting, bro. Like, it's a reaction. I need to talk. I can't just sit here. I'm going to have shit to say. If you don't like it, just leave my video. You know what I'm saying? There we go. Paris, you're supposed to edit these parts of the video out, right? But you never do. I don't care.
Well done PSA about gun safety.
Don't care. Watch the fucking video and watch me react to it.
The background character had a beard and longish hair, and an uncomfortable amount of blackface, even by mid-20th century standards.
Oh, really?
Mr. Fox, you love.
Great googly moogly.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Is Cannonball.
Is the show called Cannonball, or is that the okay, I thought the channel was called Cannonball. The show's called Cannonball, first one. No, actually, no, it's not.
Tom and Jerry.
Okay, no, it's not the name of a show that got canceled. It's the name of their segment of this video. It's called Cannonball, okay? Because they're doing a Cannonball, like a deep dive into different okay, all right. Tom and Jerry, blackface. I'm not gonna lie, Tom and Jerry had hella fucking blackface, though. With the cigar smoke. And, the black characters, they had the big-ass red lips and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it literally looked like that they had a mask on. And for some reason, like, the whitest parts of their body would be really, really white compared to the others, like, on purpose.
Blackface episodes. The Censored 11 is the name given to a bunch of Warner Bros. Cartoons from the 1930s and 40s that have been pulled from syndication for their portrayal of stereotypes, mostly of African Americans. They were so offensive that after Ted Turner obtained the rights to early Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies shorts, he vowed never to let any of the Censored 11 see the light of day. And remember, Ted Turner was okay with an episode of Captain Planet where one of the villains travels back in time to sell an atomic bomb to Hitler.
I wasn't prepared.
Okay, what? He sold a what to a what? Okay. But even for plot purposes, even for like storyline purposes, how does that make sense? Really though, even for storyline purposes, how does that help the situation? You're giving H-Man an atomic bomb though? Like, golly, thank God he didn't have it like, in real life, because it's like, bro. You know what? I'm not gonna finish that joke. I'm not gonna finish.
His standards for acceptable animation material are pretty low. Over the years, the censored 11 became a hot topic among cartoon historians. Some see them as an unfortunate but important part of history that should be preserved, warts and all, while others point out that if you want to watch racist cartoons, there are like 50 internet forums and servers dedicated to just that. But the larger point is that if 11...
Like, why I gotta put that on TV for? There are so many places on the internet where y'all could, like, you know, do y'all racist shit with no shame. But on TV, though? Come on. Come on.
Cartoons could cause such a ruckus in the animation industry and beyond, why aren't we talking more about Tom and Jerry's episodes that were banned or censored because of blackface? Not only do those exist, there's at least 12 of those bad boys. The premise of those episodes is often the same. An explosion occurs, painting Tom's or Jerry's face black, while also giving them big lips, woolly hair, and generally making them look like they just got out of the makeup chair while preparing for a minstrel show. The first such episode was probably The Yankee Doodle Mouse from 1943, which was never banned, but instead edited to remove the blackface scene. The last of the Tom and Jerry censored 12 was 1957's Feedin' the Kitty, which also aired after the offending scenes were cut.
And you gotta remember, these shits, like, bro, I really gotta start reminding myself, like, one, these shits was happening in, like, not even that long ago, so I'm not even gonna make it seem like they happened that long ago. It was in, like, the 1950s and shit like that. 1950s and 60s, which is crazy. But, bro, it's really not that long ago. Alright, 1960 from 2003. It's 2003. Let's do some quick math. You know what I'm saying? I got my calculator out. 2023, 1960. Hold up. 1960. Bro, that's like 60-something years ago. 63 to be exact. Niggas acting like this shit was hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. Nah, nigga. Like, come on, bro. This shit was happening when your grandparents was alive, for a fact. Because my grandmother, I completely forgot what year she was born. I'm pretty sure she doesn't remember her damn self. My mom was born in the 80s, though. My mom was born in the 80s, so my grandmother was definitely born, come on, during those times. Like, come the fuck on. She probably wasn't in this country, but if she was, shit.
Mouse cleaning from 1940.
I wonder how were times for her growing up in Haiti, though, compared to when my mom was growing up. That's low-key a question that I want to ask her.
Where Tom impersonates a stereotypical black man in full blackface, were banned not just from TV, but also from DVD releases of the show. The same thing happened to Casanova Cat from 1951, which not only features Tom smoking, Jerry being forced to perform a minstrel show act for a super sexualized cat, but also scenes of sexual assault. Maybe just stick to slapstick, boys. Number 4,
though.
the Powerpuff
and
Girls.
like, bro, that shit with that skunk, that would literally just be essaying hella fucking different female characters. That skunk nigga, that would just be just running up on any female in sight and just be all over them, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I never seen it growing up. I wasn't really into those kind of cartoons growing up. But even the niggas that was actually watching that shit growing up, they even said it them damn selves. After a while, it got a little bit uncomfortable, not gonna hold you. People who was actually watching this shit.
See me, feel me, know me. You'd think that if the Powerpuff Girls had a banned episode, it would probably be the one starring a character named Dick
Powerpuff
Hardley.
Girls? Powerpuff Girls. Mock Jesus? Okay.
A one-time villain who turns into the Hulk with tentacle nipples.
You know, for a second
Tentacle
there,
nipples?
I thought I was gonna turn into a monster.
Look into my
Tentacle nipples. That's what he meant.
eyes and tell me I'm
Tentacle
joking
nipples.
about any of that. But no, so far the only Powerpuff Girls episode to be pulled off the air is See Me, Feel Me, Know Me. It's an homage to the Who song See Me, Feel Me, the finale to the 1969 rock opera Tommy, where all the Powerpuff Girls characters sing.
All the little old folks can walk real slow.
Tentacle nipples is outrageous. Outrageous completely.
Definitely an experimental episode, but nothing Western animation hasn't done before. Even the plot isn't breaking any new ground. After getting their asses handed to them by all their villains attacking at once, the Powerpuff Girls feel overwhelmed and start praying for peace until a magical gnome arrives, ready to grant their wish. But because the world has been reading Rumpelstiltskin for over 2 centuries, and more recently been watching its tasteful porn parody, Rumpelforeskin,
Rumpelforeskin, baloney bop, bit of the old cunning linguistics.
the audience quickly guesses that the gnome will only help the girls for a price. What the gnome wants from the girls in exchange for destroying all evil in the world is their superpowers. They eventually agree in order to save everyone and to be able to live like regular girls. The gnome takes their powers, defeats all the villains, and then turns the entire city of Townsville into a cult worshipping him. The girls realize that that technically makes him evil, meaning that he didn't fulfill his promise. So they magically get their powers back and defeat the gnome. The end.
How was that mocking Jesus? Like, I'm not even gonna try to, like, you know, do dramatic pauses. Like, how is that mocking Jesus? I'm just personally saying, how is that mocking Jesus? Because it's like, you know, they got their asses, like, you know, they got their asses kicked. All their enemies gathered up together. They got their butts kicked. They prayed. Some gnome came down from the sky. And he said, I'll help you if you give us your powers. He did it. They beat up all the niggas. But now it's like, now we all have to worship EO ass. I still don't see what's the I don't see what's the connection here between, like, you know, this gnome shit and Jesus. This motherfucker's is soft nowadays. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe he explains it better for me.
So why was this episode banned in the US?
Exactly.
Available on the complete series DVD.
Banned in the US too. Has nothing to do with Jesus. That's what that's what my chat said. That's what my chat said. But maybe he has a reason too. Talk to me.
Set? Series creator Craig McCracken addressed the controversy surrounding the episode on his Tumblr, writing, "They banned it because they claimed that the metal beams in the destroyed buildings looked too much like crosses." And
you have got to be kidding me. They said the metal beams. They're talking about these right here. These metal beams from a destroyed building, they look too much like crosses. If anything, these shits look more like hashtags, bro. If anything, this shit looks more like hashtags to me, bro.
Metal beams in the destroyed buildings look too much like...
You have got to be kidding me.
Crosses. And one of the hippies looked like Jesus.
And one of the hippies looked like Jesus. Are you fucking serious? So you couldn't just change the design of that random hippie that showed up on screen for like 0.2 seconds? You mean to tell me, like, you couldn't just change his style? You couldn't give him, like, shorter hair? Change the color of his robe or some shit? Like, nigga, mind you, he pops up on screen for like 2 seconds. Was it that deep? Like, come on.
And, alright, it's not like the guy doesn't look a bit like Jesus. It just feels like too little to...
Even if he did, it just feels like too little of a reason to, like scrap the whole show.
Pull an entire episode. Personally,
I'm just saying.
See Me, Feel Me, Know Me was banned because of the scene of Professor Utonium beating his meat in front of his daughters. For freedom! Number 3, Tailspin, Last Horizons. Sometime before...
I'm not gonna lie, that's a dad joke, if anything. Come on now. Come on now. Be like, Mom, watch this video of, like, the Powerpuff Girls' dad beating his meat right in front of... It's a dad joke. A dad would, you know, get a cackle out of that.
Before 1990, a guy presumably walked into Disney's offices and said, "Hey, I want to take the animal characters from The Jungle Book and reimagine them as businessmen, gangsters, and bush pilots, delivering cargo and fighting sky pirates in the 1930s. And because the Disney exec had apparently just finished hoovering a tablespoon of Satan's dandruff, he said, "The only thing I hate about that idea is it doesn't have a tiny bear named Cloud Kicker riding a cloud surfboard." To which the first guy said, "Oh my God, you're not gonna believe this." Anyway, Tailspin, despite the absolute bonkersness of the premise, turned out to be a pretty great show, full of real character moments, good jokes, and oftentimes spectacular airplane action, which still doesn't excuse the time the show suggested that real-life Japan deserved getting nuked at the end of World War II.
Holy shit! Okay. They're just jumping into this. Nah, run this back for me, bro. Run this back for me.
A guy presumably walked into Disney's offices and said, "Hey, I want to take the animal characters from The Jungle Book and reimagine them as businessmen, gangsters, and bush pilots, delivering cargo and..."
Where did that come from? Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like, give me a GPS, because where did we, like, hit a hard left into this topic right now? China, what? All right,
It's
all
in the
right. I'm sorry.
1930s.
I'm sorry.
And because the Disney exec had apparently just finished hoovering a tablespoon of Satan's dandruff, he
Satan's
said,
dandruff?
"The only thing I hate about that idea is that it doesn't have a tiny bear named Cloud Kicker riding a cloud surfboard." To which the
Cloud
first guy
Kicker
said,
riding a cloud
"Oh my
surfboard.
God, you're not gonna believe
You're
this."
not gonna believe this, we
Anyway,
already got it.
Tailspin, despite the absolute bonkersness of the premise, turned out to be a pretty great show, full
Okay.
of real character moments, good
Okay.
jokes, and oftentimes spectacular
Where did this make a
airplane
left, though?
action, which still doesn't excuse the time the show suggested that real-life Japan deserved getting nuked at the
They suggested it? I gotta see this clip.
end of World War II.
Show me the clip.
Unfortunately, in addition to
Bruh, Pearl Harbor. But still, like literally though, show me the clip.
setting, the show also borrowed its racial sensitivities from the 1930s
Oh
for the
my.
episode Last Horizons, where the main character Baloo discovers Pandala, a hidden city populated entirely by Chinese restaurant mascots from South Carolina. To be fair, the residents of Pandala aren't really substitutes for Chinese people, they're actually supposed to be Japanese. We know that because in the episode, the
Hey, we're not being racist towards Chinese people. Let's really keep it above. These are pandas. They're Japanese. Like, oh my
leader,
gosh.
Emperor Wan Lo convinces Baloo to lead the pandas to his hometown of Cape Suzette, which they immediately begin to bomb in a treacherous sneak attack. An
Oh my
attack that
God.
also happens to occur about 20 years after the Great War, so around the start of World War II, making this bombing scene the most distastefully ham-fisted allusion to the attack on Pearl Harbor since, actually, I think they were the first ones to do it.
They were probably the first ones to take that chance and do it.
I guess.
I mean,
We went with
congrats.
Pearl
I'm
Harbor.
sorry.
We're pretty
Like,
classy.
But don't worry, the villainous Pandala is defeated when they're
what
Pearl
happened?
Harbor.
I think they were the first ones to do it. So congratulations, I guess.
We're the first, but definitely not the last. Definitely not the last.
We went with the Pearl Harbor. We're pretty classy.
But don't worry.
And people say cartoons today are too soft. Psh. Hey, you're just not watching the right cartoons. I'm just saying. People swear cartoons have lost their edge. They're not as edgy or as, like, you know, risk-taking as they used to be. You're just not watching the right cartoons. You're really
The
just not
villainous
watching the right
Pandala
cartoons.
is defeated when their
You're not watching the right cartoons. You're really not watching the right cartoons. You're just not watching the right cartoons. Start watching the right cartoons.
fortress gets blown up in a gigantic explosion, which the audience is assured they deserved for being shitty buttholes and all. So yeah, Disney produced a cartoon reenactment of the attack on Pearl Harbor and used characters from the Jungle Book to satirize the atomic bombing of Japan.
A little
Crazy.
pandemonium.
That is a
The
crazy
episode was
sentence when
quickly
you say
pulled
it
from
out loud.
syndication for its stereotypical portrayal of Asians and hasn't been broadcast since 2002.
Well, we'll all miss him.
No, we won't.
It's also not available on Disney Plus, but you can get it on DVD, just in case you ever want to drop some shitty geopolitical takes on a bunch of unsuspecting kids thinking they're about to watch a show about cartoon bears flying a big plane. All right, that's enough racism for one day. Let's change the topic to something much less controversial, like, a 14-year-old girl's breasts.
Why don't you come on in and
What the
have
fuck?
a seat real quick?
Oh, f***. Number 2, brace face, busted. Brace
Oh,
face is an
so
early
this is
2000s
the freaking breast that you keep on shoving in people's faces every damn second of this video. Like, damn, it's like almost every literally, almost every transition of this video is this 14-year-old's tits. What the fuck? Now, I look crazy saying that. Like, come on.
Canadian
Out of context, this segment of the video is gonna look really crazy.
cartoon about a junior high school student with braces trying to deal with your typical challenges of teenage life. Also, her name was Sharon Spitz, a play on sharing spit, because when I watch a show about 14-year-olds, I want to constantly be thinking about them making out. So in the season
Maybe they try to make it a joke because, like, you know, she got braces, so she spits a lot. God damn, writers. Why you gotta be
3
creeps
episode
for?
Busted, Sharon is
All these writers in Hollywood or whatever and stuff like that, the niggas that be on TV, y'all all weirdos, bro. They all creeps.
angry at everyone assuming she's 13 instead of 14
When they get that old, they can't tell the difference between 13 and 14.
Oh, crap.
and blames her underdeveloped breasts. Jesse looks up cautiously.
What are you doing?
So Sharon
What
does what
are
any
you
girl her
doing?
age would do if she was written by people who've had their computers seized by the FBI on more than one occasion. She buys a sci-fi pump-up bra, the Enhancer 3000, which the sales lady is absolutely giddy to sell her. What happens next on the episode hopefully resulted in some kind of police investigation of the show's producers. With her artificially enhanced breasts, Sharon gains confidence, a date, and a whole gaggle of freaks, including her goddamn stepbrother, ogling her chest without any shame or a well-deserved kick to the nuts. Unfortunately,
Creepy ass
Sharon's
niggas.
boob remote gets damaged and her bra starts to expand uncontrollably until
Oh,
one of the
God.
cups explodes, probably giving at least 2 people around her a disturbing new fetish. The episode ends like it started, ickily, with Sharon kind of sort of flirting with her non-blood related stepbrother.
Hey, Sharon.
Still gross, but better than focusing on a 14-year-old's breasts. So we'll take it.
You know what
Number
I'm
1,
saying?
gargoyles, deadly force.
Okay, I thought that was, you know, this transition that they keep on using. I thought that's who they was talking about. But what the shit? What in the stepbro bullshit is this, though? Like, goddamn, it's literally like these producers and, like, you know, cartoon writers and stuff like that. They be, like, living out their fantasies through these characters. Like, for real, for real. Like, dead ass. And it be so obvious sometimes. But back in the day, though, it wasn't as obvious, though. I feel like that was the main thing with, like, you know, shows like iCarly, Victorious, and stuff like that. That nigga was living his fantasies out for real during them shows through those children. Well, not children. I mean, they were children when they first started, but you know what? Like, you know what I mean. Weird shit. These niggas be weird, bro.
Gargoyles is a story
Dead
about
ass, these niggas
magical
be weird.
creatures from the 10th century who are brought back to life in New York in the 90s and eventually befriend a spunky policewoman. It's sort of like a more mature version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if it was
Facts.
voiced by, like,
Now that he literally just said that and put that in my brain, I'm just gonna automatically agree with what he said. Because it does make sense though. Gargoyles was like a more mature Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for real. And I never really saw it like that.
half the cast from Star Trek The Next Generation.
God, Jesus.
Now, did any of that make you think that this show would be a good place for a very special episode about gun safety? See, that's why none of you will ever have a massive coke habit. Because not only did the show have an episode like that, it bizarrely worked really, really well. It all started with the gargoyle Broadway. Imagine a centuries-old stone demon with the personality of pizza.
This was not
In the
how I
episode
remembered the
Deadly
show.
Force, Broadway becomes obsessed with a gunslinger western. When he later visits his cop friend Elisa, he picks up her gun and starts playing with it.
I was playing with the gun.
Until he accidentally shoots her in the back. We don't see the bullet enter Elisa's body because, come on, this is still a Disney cartoon. But the original version did show the injured Elisa lying in a puddle of her own blood.
Damn.
It's all pretty intense, as well as a pretty good, non-heavy-handed lesson about gun safety. Because Broadway is a medieval monster who has no idea how our world works, the episode surprisingly stays on message, calling for basic gun safety and gun education. Broadway would never have shot Elisa if he had learned about firearms from somewhere besides a stupid movie. And not to victim blame, but the whole thing was partially Elisa's fault for not storing her gun away safely. The best part of the episode is probably when a distressed Broadway goes on an anti-gun quest to take down an arms trafficker.
A new kind of gun? A new way to kill people?
But the series never lets him disappear into his own beehole and somehow make guns themselves the villain here. Despite Broadway steaming with righteous anger, it's made clear to us that he screwed up, that he's the responsible party, and it really drives home the message that
Very true. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, okay, that's why I feel like there is some truth to when people be saying it's not the gun that's the problem, it's the person holding the gun. And it's like, if you really think about it though, because I was watching when not reacting. I was watching a stream and Dante was reacting to a video. And the nigga in the video was basically talking about some he was basically talking about some, yo, you can't blame a gun. You can't blame the gun for, like, you know, the bad person's actions, because that's like blaming a pencil for misspelled words. Let me say that one more time. Would you blame a gun for spelling oh my God. Would you blame a pencil for spelling the word wrong, or are you blaming the person? Just like how, would you blame the gun for somebody dying or the person? You know what I'm saying? You, like, you know, the gun is a tool. It's an object. It has no free will. You need to, you know what I'm saying? The responsibility lies in the person holding that object, holding that weapon. That's why I be seeing it from certain people's point of views when they be like, oh, Like, you know, when they be complaining and going crazy about their gun control and gun laws and like da stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I get it to it, and I can see it from both sides. I can see it from both sides. That's what I'm trying to say.
Be careful with things you don't understand. Despite that,
Real
Deadly
shit, real
Force
spill.
was initially pulled from rotation, but was allowed back on the air after the scene of Elisa bleeding out was cut. Because the last thing Disney wants is to put something out there that could mentally scar a whole generation of children.
Just finished the movie. Shit was so fucking good. They making the third one. Wait, what movie was you watching? Creed? Creed? Oh no, no, you was watching Black Panther. You was watching Black Panther. That's
Thanks
what
for
you said.
watching. If you like Cannibal, I think you might like this new show we
Censors couldn't stop ruining 90s animated shows. Ooh, that could be a deal for Nick. Okay.